So that's my framed picture. I can't get the reflections out of it, sorry. Morning. Bit close. Sorry, I'll sort this out in a minute. Farmers are protesting here in France and have been for a couple of weeks now. And of course in France, when people protest, they really protest. They don't do half measures. They don't walk peacefully down the street waving banners. A couple of days ago, they sprayed the Lycée Palace with manure. I'm trying to find it now on this news site. Somebody, I don't know why, but I read something about somebody had opened the window, so it had gone inside as well. And I know at our local prefecture, they dumped a load of manure and ordure outside the prefecture in Poitiers. More sadly, and I'm going to pause you whilst I find the story. A French farmer, Alexandra Sonac, aged 35, and her 12-year-old daughter were killed by a car that ploughed into one of the blockades. Oh God, I was really, really awful to think that they'd gone out to do their bit to support their community, and she was killed outright, and her daughter, 12-year-old daughter, later died in hospital. And the father, as far as I know, the husband, was in intensive care, and there's another daughter. That's just awful, isn't it? Just awful. And I think it hit home because my friend Laurence is a dairy farmer, and this woman was a dairy farmer, and it just, it's too close to home, and it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. It's a long way south of me, and normally I wouldn't have heard of it. I think I heard of it because of the people locally to me. I live in a rural farming area, so that's why it became more newsworthy up here. Not that it isn't newsworthy, but yeah, very sad. I'm going to close that off now because I don't want to look at it. So yeah, that's what's going on here. The farmers are protesting about the prices of the money that they get for their dairy products and their meat. They're angry, and rightly so, that the supermarkets are profiting, so they don't get for their milk how they're not getting back for their milk how the cost of how much it is to produce. So there's no profit. They're not making a profit, but the supermarkets are making a profit. And that's been like that in the UK for a long time. It's not new, is it? It's not new, but the farmers have really been protesting, roads blocked, great long queues of lorries on some of the auto routes. So yeah, that's what's happening here. But it's not happening here. It's happening in France. Locally, we've not come across anything. So yeah. We have, unusually, it feels like last year, we spent the year jogging from one place to another, from one thing to another, from one appointment to another. There was always something to go to. sort of ending mainly in Mark's physio appointments. After, during November and December, there was always something to go to. And then that stopped when we got COVID. It was like everything came to a halt. And then earlier this month, because we're still in January, earlier this month, we still had some things to do. But yesterday, we stopped. And looking at the calendar, there's nothing until Thursday. Today is Saturday. And there's nothing until Thursday. And that's art. We've got nothing on, and it looks amazing. It's amazing to look at my Google Calendar and see it empty. It's really lovely. I can't explain it. It feels really liberating to not have things to have to be ready for, or to be hanging around waiting for, or to have to get up for. It just means that we can do what we want to do, and we do what we want to do all the time. But it frees us up to be spontaneous. I think I might go to the garden centre this afternoon. I'm sort of trying to work out what I want to put on that window outside here this year. Of course, we've had mild weather, so of course I get tempted then to put things on the window ledge. And then what happens, we normally have it a bit later than this. It's called false spring. Most years we get like a false spring in February, and then we get beaten down by something really cold in March. And I'm sure that will happen again this year. But I get all ahead of myself by putting stuff on the window ledge that isn't going to make it through really cold weather. I might go and have a look at the garden centre, because I'm hoping that they will have bulbs, stuff with like a planter with some bulbs coming up, some daffodils. That would be nice. I used to have one, but the daffodils got planted out into the garden and whatever. And I'm looking at those pots that I was looking at yesterday over in that corner. I move them because it gets so baking hot here at the front that I bring them over, and they're here for flowering in spring, and then I move them over there because it's shady from the oppressive heat that there is up here by the house in summer. I have to remember that. I have plans. I'm sort of thinking, I might put some flowers on there, but grow some herbs on there as well. But I know that by July, everything will just be desiccated by the heat. And I'll go through all that horrible sort of anxiety about keeping everything watered when I don't like wasting water. I need to think very clearly about what I put out there. But I just want something different. Something different to the geranium, something different to the, you drive past all the houses and most of them have got geraniums. It's just a thing here. But I wanted to be a bit different and not go for geraniums again this year, as lovely as they are. And I've got those geraniums from last year that are overwintering at the moment down on the ground against the wall of the house, and they're managing okay at the moment. They're protected. They've not been burnt back by frost or caught by frost, so I'll reinstate those this year if they make it through the next couple of months. But I want something different on the window ledge. So that's that. What else was I going to tell you? We haven't got the fire alight, which is why I'm dressed like this. It's a bit cool in here. It's about 18, I think. But it just feels, what does it say? I was only about 8 out there. It just feels, it would get too warm if we lit the fire now. It's only 9:45. If we lit the fire now, by this afternoon it would just be too hot in here. So we've rolled the gas fire back in, and I can light that if I get cold. Oh, sorry, I have slept. I didn't really want to be up, but my bladder thought I should get up. So I got up. It was a toy, like how many more times can you get up for the loo and go back to sleep? So I gave up in the end and got up. So today, for our main meal, I am doing the roast vegetables again because they were really nice. I did roast vegetables in, what was it? Cajun, in Cajun spices. Wasn't very heavy on the Cajun spices. I might be a bit heavier on them today. But that they were really nice, and I'll do it with some chicken, and I might do like a tarragon sauce with the chicken. I won't do any potato or carbs or anything with it. So, oh, I might put a bit of potato in with the vegetables, but not a lot. So we'll have that today. I had my healthy supper yesterday. I had smoked salmon and olives, and there was an avocado that I'd bought that I needed to use. So an avocado and cornichon. I bought big cornichon and I don't like them. I'll eat them, and I bought 2 jars, but they're not as nice. They're not as, the finer cornichon are crispy. These don't have the same crispiness, I suppose, because they're an older vegetable or a larger vegetable. So they're not as nice. So I won't buy those again. But yeah, so I had that for my supper. No bread. Mark had some bread. Don't know what's wrong with me. Definitely not pregnant. Definitely not pregnant. I didn't have cravings when I was pregnant anyway. It was really odd. I'm quite happy with it because it's quite a healthy craving, so I'm not complaining. I quite like it, actually. In fact, it was nice, but the smoked salmon doesn't quite hit the same spot as the smoked herrings do. I think because it's not salty. I think that's probably what I'm craving, is salt, which I shouldn't do really, because I get salt in my diet. I don't know why I'm craving salt. Yeah, so that's for today. I've got half a loaf of sourdough bread, which I froze, so I'm still okay. I'm still on top of that. Don't need to make any more of that for now. I might start making one on Sunday because it takes all day to get it to the point of putting it in the fridge and then gets cooked the next day. So you might start that on Sunday. I had some exciting news yesterday. Phil's coming over. He's going to come over in the middle of March, which is really nice. We will see them later on in the year. We'll go across, but he's coming down on his own. He's just sent another parcel here. So he's got 2 parcels here that we would have to take up if we were going, if he didn't come down. But he's going to come down and pick up his parcels, and he's bringing parcels to us. I got a bit excited and did myself a really large Neal's Yard Remedies order. I used to sell Neal's Yard Remedies organic. It's called the arm of Neal's Yard that was the online selling and party selling. I used to do that here back in about 8 years ago, 7 years ago, because I loved Neal's Yard products. I've always got, that's a Neal's Yard product in my pocket. There's blue bottles all over the place in the house of Neal's Yard stuff, and I've got the blue bottles that came with soap in them, and then I just refilled them with organic liquid soap. So I loved Neal's Yard. So when I found I was able to join Neal's Yard and become a consultant, as they called you, and sell Neal's Yard products, it meant that I could buy Neal's Yard products with a 25% discount. And at sale time, I could get 40% discount sometimes on stuff. So I did that for about 3 or 4 years. And I had an online shop. So people could order from my shop online in France and in the UK. And I met Sophie, who had introduced Neal's Yard to France. And then Brexit came along. And a year after Brexit, Neal's Yard said, we can't do France any longer. Which was a real blow. It was a real blow to, oh, that's also Neal's Yard, hand cream, garden mint and bergamot. It was a real blow, especially to Sophie, because it had been down to her that Neil's Yard here was here in France, and she'd been really successful. It was horrible, really, really difficult time. And I've become, see, I kind of get addicted to a brand. I mean, I am addicted to Neil's Yard brand. I like their stuff. I know what perfumes I like or dislike of their stuff. And so finding something else to replace my moisturizer and my hair shampoo and my other things like hand cream. I mean, that's all I use really. Hair shampoo, hand cream, moisturizer, and Mark uses some stuff. To find stuff to replace that was quite difficult because I have to then go through it and make sure that the perfume is not disgusting, because I can't abide anything with rose or geranium in. I really can't. It's disgusting. When I got my first, my starter kit from Neil's Yard, there was, what was in it? One of their favourite things is geranium and something, I can't remember. But even with the box closed, out in the hallway, I could smell it from here. Really can't bear it. I don't like anything with rose or geranium in, and I have to go through ingredients to make sure they haven't got that in. So yeah, it was quite difficult to replace Neil's Yard. Anyway, Phil's coming, so I got all excited and did a really big Neil's Yard order last night, and they now sell my preferred shampoo, which is invigorating seaweed shampoo. They now sell that in nearly litre bottles, so that's really good. Because I always have to buy a lot of that, and that I just got one bottle left, I think, so I'm coming to the end of it. So what I've ordered will last us about 6 months. We're going over again later in the year, so I'll be able to buy some more. So we should be all right for a while. So I'm pleased about that. What else? Yeah, so he's coming. That'll be really nice. A few days with us. He's got a Tesla. I just can't bear Elon Musk. I can't bear him, so I don't like Teslas for that reason. But on the other hand, I'd like to have a ride in it and see how it goes. And I said that he can't put it on the drive. It's a shame he can't put it on the drive. I have to hide it somewhere. I'm joking. He knows I'm joking. Oh yeah, and he'll bring tea bags and Marmite. Oh, and chutney. I got told off last night. You didn't mention chutney. Well, it's not for me. It's for you. You mention it. Yeah. So that's where we're at, and I'm gonna. What am I gonna do? We've got a bit of chicken bothering to do later, and I've got dinner to cook, and I might have I might do a bit of painting. I've got my painting here out on my easel. I might start doing some more of that. I really do need to work on the contours and there's like fine snow lines going. I mean, obviously if you were up close, the big bloody great ledges, but you can see from a distance these lines of snow, but they're so fine. Got to work out how to do that. But it is very distinctive, Mount Robson, so I do need to work hard on now making it look like Mount Robson rather than just a mountain. But I have a good foundation was the word I was looking for yesterday, not a base. I have a good foundation. And now I need to work on the finesse, not my better. That's not my better skill, finesse. Mark's the one that does finesse. But we'll see how it goes. There we go. Took ages for that one last night to upload. I started uploading it at about 4:30 and it didn't upload. I published it at about 11. It took 6 hours, 7 hours to upload. Don't know why. Don't know how long this will take. You'll get this during the day today, Saturday, in France, if it uploads. But we'll see. Okay. Take care.